Christmas, motherfuckers!
Not quite yet.
No, not quite.
We will do a Christmas special.
I'm feeling a bit Christmassy though, Brian.
I'm feeling a bit Christmassy.
Really?
A little bit. I mean, I just wanted to match your energy.
You came in hard.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to match you on
hard
that.
and wet. It's the only way I know.
It is, and every time you do it, I'm like, oh, I want to join in.
Absolutely. It's what the Christmas season's all about. It's
about
giving.
It's what the people want.
It's about giving and it's about receiving.
It's provocative and it gets people going.
It does, and nobody knows what
We're
it
generous
means.
lovers.
You particularly.
All right, well, listen, you don't have to read all the feedback.
Do you know what, though? I appreciate the dedication of you going round, listener by listener, sexually satisfying them. It's
become like a CrossingSwords tradition.
It has, and I feel like it's your burden to bear now.
On the very first episode. Oh, do you know what? Shit, I've just realised something.
You did offer hand jobs to
No,
every
I've just
single
realised
listener.
something. I might have to move. Are you in shot there?
I know.
I might have to move.
Why don't
that.
you get up and check and I'll pad?
Oh, hang on. Yeah,
It'll
pad.
be funny on pod. So currently, guys, Jake thinks he might have messed up the camera angle, so I'm currently padding. Are you all right? Is it okay?
Thing is, bro, I'm not sure I want you in the shot. Don't take this the wrong way, but I want to meet Cliff Richard.
Wow. Wow.
Did you like that intro? Did you like that build up?
Was that all fake?
Did you like the yeah, that was all fake.
Motherfucker.
Did you like it?
Wow. I think we might have to stop recording.
Are we about to have our first falling out?
We might need to call up Ash. He'll just laugh. He'll support you and
absolutely.
he'll laugh at me. No, actually, that was really good.
Thank you.
That was very... honestly, you had me going. I thought you'd fucked up the camera and... Wow.
Thanks.
What a way to start off.
It's good, though, isn't it, the Cliff Richard thing?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I have. It's really awkward.
The memes and stuff that came out of it were just absolutely sublime,
I
by
must
the way.
have missed the memes.
It's one of them where internet culture really pulled through on that one.
Yeah. I mean, for anyone that didn't watch it, explain to the people what Cliff did.
So on This Morning, with Alison Hammond as well, which is sort of just makes the whole
She's
thing
a
beautiful. 'Cause
larger lady.
She's a big lady.
Yeah.
You know, she's never...
Do you know what? I think she's a good-looking lady.
Oh, I'm not denying that.
And I love her. I love her on Bake Off. Please tell me I'm talking to the right person. It is.
Yep.
It is
Yeah.
Alison Hammond.
No, that is
Alright,
Alison
cool.
Hammond.
Yeah.
And Cliff Richard, he was talking about this time that he was offered the opportunity to meet Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm a big Elvis fan. He's like, I styled myself in Elvis. And anyone who goes back and watch Cliff in like the sort of 50s, 60s, you can so clearly see that.
Yeah.
And then he went, but you know, he said he's at that point in the career, he'd really let himself go. You know, he was a big lad.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you know, if that's going to be on my fridge for the rest of my life, you know, he's got to be looking better than that. Is basically the gist of what he said. And Alison Hammond handles it really well because she's like, well, you won't want to meet me, will you?
Would it have been as bad if it wasn't Alison Hammond sat there in front of him?
Yeah, no, it would have been as bad. It was just how she responded to it because she was just like, well, you won't want a picture of me then, will you? But yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, it's bad. You shouldn't say shit like that. I sort of get it though. Like, if Eminem lost it, do you know what I mean, and got like my size, like.
But you're saying you'd be like, do you know what, I'll give it a miss.
Potentially.
Really?
Potentially. Do you know what? Not because I'm judging him for being fat. I think because it would make me sad that he'd got to a really bad place.
It's so odd, isn't it, that if before we had this conversation, you'd have said, which one of us would be more likely to line up with Cliff? It wouldn't have been you.
The thing is, I think it's a case of an old man saying something the wrong way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think he means sort of what I do, that he feels bad that he was in that bad a place, and you know,
maybe you're saying he just really, really expressed himself poorly.
Yes, I think that's what it's a case of, and it was really bad. And
It was
he shouldn't
shocking.
have said it.
It was shocking.
Certainly not on national television.
But it did make me think
on a
of
smaller
like,
podcast like this, you can perhaps get away.
If one of your heroes had like fallen to some hard drugs, perhaps,
yes,
and was, you know, properly legioned up, skinny,
Dave
looking
Grohl.
I was going to say Dave Grohl.
Say like after everything he's been through, he just took, you know, went in a really bad place, started turning to drugs, alcohol, and you know, you could visibly see how unwell he was. I would not approach him for a photograph because that is not the way I'd want to remember that moment, meeting Dave Grohl, seeing him that unwell and seeing him.
But what if you knew that it was your only opportunity? You'd never meet him again.
I think I'd take that risk because he doesn't need some. I'd be more interested in going up to him and trying to help him than
Now,
take a photo with him.
Let's switch it and say, what if he got fat?
That's Dave Grohl. He's fine. He's just got a bit chubby. Do you know what I mean? A bit of dad bod. It depends how fat.
Fat, like Elvis fat.
No, but Elvis was like, how big was Elvis?
Quite big by the end.
Yeah. Like my size or bigger or?
I think he was like a good 20 plus stone by the end.
Yeah. The thing is, I think Elvis was pairing that size with drug and alcohol, whereas I'd imagine
Certainly
with Dave
alcohol.
Grohl, it would most likely be a case of he's just put on some weight. Do you know what I mean?
His wife's taken up some cooking classes and he doesn't
Do you know
want to
what I
say
mean?
no.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what that would be like? The most
Not
dangerous
touring as
thing
much.
would be to hook up with a feeder.
Yeah.
I would fall hard for that.
It's
if someone
difficult.
we were talking about this at work, so I will basically, I've eaten some absolutely odd shit.
You pad for a second, bro.
You getting rid of the cat? There's a cat. For those of you that are listening, a cat has just jumped beautifully into shot and now will not leave. But I will eat pretty much anything that's put in front of me, and I've said that. No.
I nearly, that's fine, you can sit on that bit. My mum cooked some sausage rolls today, and I nearly brought the cold ones in, but I didn't know if you like them cold or not.
I will eat anything. Honestly.
Well, I know
this sounds like...
And also, I didn't check with her before she went upstairs, so I couldn't be like, are they yours
yeah,
for
they're
later?
forgotten. Yeah. No.
So
and I would feel bad for even eating them. But if you put food in front of me, I'll eat it.
It was like when we had the biscuit tin when we did the Royal episode. By the way, great episode. Go back.
That was a good episode.
That was a really good episode.
And I just sat here eating the biscuits.
Do you know what? And they were the bits that made me laugh the most. Some of them when I was doing the
Serious
compilation video that's going to be out at the end of the month. Was that it was us sitting there and it was you just going, I'm gonna have to go back and look on YouTube and then me doing a monologue about the government and inequality, and
it was a really powerful speech and I'm just eating biscuits in the back. The audio is just muffled by me eating biscuits
and me wearing a fake crown
and you wearing a fake crown.
Yeah,
at least it was a fake crown.
Yeah,
I think that's okay.
Yeah, I have to admit in recent times I've definitely, my view on the monarchy's changing, and I think part of that is the Queen's passed away.
Fat fingers Charlie.
And I think for whatever reason, perhaps it was because we had her our entire lives, and she was
pork pads.
And I consider myself a fairly patriotic person, but I now see, like when the King recently, in particular, did the speech about what the government's doing and all of that, and how we're going to tackle the cost of living crisis and poverty and all of that. And he sat there with a fucking crown on his head, a cape on a throne.
But the Queen would do that as well.
No, I know, but I guess she'd been. But seeing this,
it's
old
enough
man,
of a wake up call that it's a new thing. It's a new person.
And like you look around, and like what I've said before, I went to see.
You see the ridiculousness in it.
Yeah, and I went to see the Crown Jewels a couple of years ago at the.
I bet you did.
And
hello, sailor.
And I was really struck by how unimpressed I was at the time.
You can say you were struck by the Crown Jewels, because that does happen.
It does. Only yours, though.
Only at my place, yeah.
Your dad just does not stop getting them out.
Just walks around free hanging.
Look, it's his house. His castle,
you know
his rules.
King of the castle, he can do what he wants. It lets it go.
Hundo. We need to bring that back. We don't use Hundo.
No, we don't use Hundo. Sometimes I text you Hundo.
But yeah, so like my view on the monarchy's changed a little bit, because it's just mental to have someone sat on a throne with all this wealth talking about how we're going to help the poor.
I always have this struggle a little bit with patriotism, because I consider myself quite patriotic. But what I don't consider myself is nationalistic, and what I don't consider myself is, I don't believe that I can. For me, the patriotism is, I love the little things about being British. I love the sarcasm. I love the self-deprecation. I love all that stuff. I love the fact that
it's like people don't get the football's coming home thing.
Yeah.
We know it's not.
And I love I love the way that generally, and I know this isn't necessarily unique to British people, but it's quite a common British thing that we respond to most situations and trauma and stuff with really dark humour.
Yeah.
For most British people. And I really love that. But I also love the country. I want a betterment of the country. That's patriotism to me. It's not about a flag. It's not about a person, whoever's running it, whether it's a monarch, whether it's a government or whatever. It's not about any of that. That's not, the people of the country.
Yeah.
Not any of the other stuff. So I consider myself patriotic, but I don't. consider myself
No,
blind to a
I
lot
think
of that.
as I'm getting older, I'm being able to separate more and more the norms of what being called patriotic is, and just assuming the monarchy's a good thing. And I still think there's benefits to it, and I think it could be done differently. I think it could be. I think the monarchy could be a force for change. I think it's incapable of doing so with the people that are currently in it and the people that surround it and the way people view it. So I think ultimately, I tend to agree with you that I think it will be something that
Do you think if Charles
disappears.
wants to continue being a king, he has to be a drag king and he has to slay? Like, he has to bring it. Like, forget these boring suits. He has to
He's
bring
sort of
it.
funny enough as it is.
He has to
like
bring that shit.
Him going around with those hats, like, it's comedy enough for
It's
me.
the old pork pads.
Yeah, they're not great. And like, you look at him, you're like, you don't even look as healthy now as your mum did towards the end. Do you know what I mean? Like,
on her deathbed.
so like, how long's he got? And then like, I think it could be slightly different with the younger generation, but at the same time, I don't hold out much hope that it will. But yeah, so that wasn't something I intended on talking
No,
about.
I don't know how that came up. What were we talking about?
I have no idea. We're talking about wearing crowns.
And we were talking about Cliff.
Yeah.
Say Cliff.
Started off with Cliff, ended with King Prince Charles, as he's known.
King Prince Charles.
But yeah.
It always goes around to a bit of Charlie, doesn't it? We're in that kind of area.
Yeah.
There's always a bit of Charlie comes up.
Yeah. Speaking of Charlie, have you watched any of the public inquiry involving Boris Johnson?
Absolutely not. My mental health is absolutely fine, thank you.
No, I've only seen clips online, to be fair.
I know that he got in really, really early.
Yeah,
to avoid
the families
actually facing anyone.
Yeah, which is pretty
scum.
Yeah,
but he is scum.
But it's pretty
He's consistent,
on brand.
It's very on brand.
Yeah. No, I mean, today I was going to try and avoid politics in general, but you mentioned Coke, and it seemed like a good opportunity to mention
Boris
Johnson. Yeah,
yeah, fair. It's a fair link.
Let's start off with something. Oh, you've been away on your travels recently.
I've been away.
Where have you been? Because I know you went to Germany, and that's about as much as I know. And
buckle
Holland?
up, sister.
Did you go Holland?
No.
All right.
We flew into. I'm swinging and a miss.
Did you go to Auschwitz?
Yes.
Nice.
So, I know what you
but
mean.
I want to talk about that.
Right.
We'll get to it.
Yeah. Okay. You can ask all the questions you want. Please hold your questions.
I don't
to the
really
end
have
of
any.
the tour caller.
I would just like to hear how you experienced
We
it.
flew into Munich. We picked up a rental car.
Is Munich near Bavaria?
It's in Bavaria.
It is
Bavaria is
Bavaria.
the region. Munich is
cool.
like the capital of
Sweet.
Bavaria.
Just checking.
We flew into Munich, picked up the rental car, stayed one night in Munich.
Nice. And this was you, Ash, and Al,
This was
wasn't it?
me, Ash, and Al.
Sweet.
Then we drove to Prague.
Yep.
Spent 2 nights in Prague.
What's it like in Prague?
It's nice. It's like it's quite a quaint
Is it
old town.
Is it as
but
cheap
it's
as
also,
they make out?
It's cheap, but it's not as cheap as they make out, I would say. But
okay.
also, it's so clear that parts of it are set up for like stag do's and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's also, if you're in that old town, that touristy bit, it's just like Americans everywhere.
Right, okay. Really? In Prague?
Mm.
Right, I wonder why.
Then from Prague, we went on to Krakow.
Nice.
Did 2 nights in Krakow. Now there we found a cheap bar. £1.60 for a pint.
Fuck me.
Yep. And
Was it decent beer at least?
it was all right. Yeah, it was quite nice. We also in Krakow, we had the pierogies, the little Polish dumplings.
Yeah. How are they? Are they nice?
That's what you call me sometimes.
What, my little
The
dumpling?
little dumpling.
Yeah.
You should
When I'm
start.
trying to be hurtful.
Yeah, you should start. They were really good. I'll tell you what, they're really filling. There's a couple of things I like. So I got 8 meat ones and 8 sweet ones. They were like
Nice.
apple and cinnamon. Really nice. And the little dips they came with were really nice. They're really filling. I got to like 10 and I was like, fuck, I'm struggling here.
Yeah.
But what I like is they're just meat. Do you know what I mean? Look, they didn't get caught up in the horse meat scandal because there's no
No.
one going,
You just
there's
don't
a lot
ask, though.
well, there's not like, there's a lot of horse in that beef or whatever. It's just like, what's in it? Meat.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's the same as a Chinese dumpling, isn't it?
Yeah.
The shumai, as it's known.
It's like, you never told us there was horse meat. It's like, we never told you there wasn't.
No.
We just said meat.
We just ask no questions, hear no lies.
But they're
do you
really
know what I
good.
mean?
They were really good. In Krakow as well, it's such an odd thing because I didn't think of it as Krakow. I thought Prague maybe, but in Krakow, after about 9 o'clock, when we were walking back, so we stayed just outside of the old town.
Mm.
And as we were walking back, it'd be, like all the way, it'd be like, hey guys, you want to see some big titties?
Always.
Oh, you want to see some big titties, guys? I've got some of the biggest titties. And Ash at one point made the mistake of saying, I think it was Ash made the mistake of saying, like, no, we're all right, we've got some here. And the guy just followed us. Like, was with us. And I was like, do you know what really makes me want to go into a venue? Being followed and harassed.
Well, it's the same as like when you're abroad in like Spain or Greece and you're walking along
And they come out to the
and
restaurant.
they're coming out from the restaurant trying to drag you in. It's like, mate, I had dinner 5 minutes ago. I know I'm fat, but I don't
Although,
need to sit down.
do you know what? Me, Al and Ash on another trip, I think it was in Greece.
Yeah.
We actually did nearly go into a place when he came out, and I'll tell you why. Because he came out and he was like, hey guys, you want some lunch or whatever? And we said, oh no, we've actually just eaten. He went, but you boys look like you could always eat. And I was like, do you know what? This fucking guy, the boldness.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in there.
Yeah.
I am going to have another lunch. I didn't actually want another lunch.
No.
I respected this shit out. He took a swing.
It's a bit like there was that horrible bastard when we were in Tenerife.
You'd like his tactic. High risk, high reward.
Well, it was like, I don't know if you were there, but you might have been. We were on a road trip somewhere. I think we were going Nottingham.
I went to Nottingham.
But I don't know if you came with me, Ash and Craig.
Mm.
But we were in
I drove.
We were in... Yeah, you're right. You did. No. And you didn't want to be up as early as Ash did, if I remember correctly.
Sounds about right.
And we're at the service station and we're in W.H. Smith's. And both Ash and Craig go and buy their drinks. And they both had snacks, if I remember correctly. And I think I was literally just getting a drink. And the woman served them, never asked them a single question. I walk up and immediately, after she scans my product, are you interested in any of the additional purchases? And it was all chocolate bars. And all I see at the side is Ash and Craig just absolutely wetting themselves. And I literally just went, no.
And rightfully so. You know, it's the correct response.
Yeah, it's just rude. It's like, I went to the carvery a little while ago with Leanne and they serve her, no problem. As soon as I step up, king size, sir? I'm like, no, mate, just the normal one, thank you.
It's so rude, but they must eyeball who their potential customers are.
I get it. But
you know the baggage you're carrying.
It's high risk, high reward, because if I was a sensitive fat person, and there are some of us out there like that, they would quite happily go complain and get him in trouble. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, people need to be, I get it, target, but, you know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Krakow.
Yes.
So a couple of nights in Krakow. That's quite nice. But it just snowed as well, so there was just a beautiful white sleet everywhere, cold, the whole trip.
Yeah.
But from Krakow, we got up relatively early, went and did Auschwitz. Learned so much.
Yeah.
And it's like you do Auschwitz 1 and then you do Auschwitz 2 at Birkenau, which is with like the famous shot of the train tracks and the thing, where the woman took the selfie, right? And it went viral.
Yeah.
But really somber, really harrowing. It's exactly what you'd expect. We had a really good tour guide.
Is it true that there's no birds chirping and?
No, there aren't. I never thought about it. But
I remember hearing someone say when you go there's no.
Although to be quite honest,
noise.
It was so fucking cold. If I'd have heard any animal, I'd have questioned them.
How are you alive?
Oh my god! And it was the wind. It was the wind that just caught you. You had no protection from the wind. But as I said to the tour guide, it's actually a really good. You could put a positive on it as I did, because I'm that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Because it was like these guys, the prisoners there would have been made to stand sometimes for 20 hours a day when they did roll call there. So at the start of their day, they'd do roll call. But if someone had tried to escape, or sometimes if someone had just died in the night and you couldn't find the body, they would stand there until everyone had been accounted for. So sometimes they were out in 20 hours a day. So it's like in that cold, they would have been out here in less than I was in.
Yeah.
So it was quite... It's the glasses that got me.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that, apparently.
Yeah, and the shoes, I've heard.
The glasses, the shoes, and the cylinders, which they had the Cyclone B in.
This will sound like such a weird thing to say. I'm quite jealous that you've been.
No, do you know, it's weird, because when I was going, I kept saying...
people should go and see.
I kept saying I look forward to it, and it's like, that seems like a really weird thing to say, but I am.
I think I can imagine it's quite a.
And again, not to get too political,
experience.
you go there and you experience it and you think, fuck, this is so bad. But it's happening now, like it's still, it's horrendous.
It puts it even more into perspective, doesn't it?
But it's really, terrifying.
And I think it adds, because I think we all know what happened in World War II, but I think you go and see something like that and it adds a level of realism to it.
What added to it was that from Auschwitz, we drove up to Berlin, did 2 nights in Berlin. We actually dropped the car off on the first night in. And what we did, we did loads of Berlin. We did all of it. Checkpoint Charlie, we did the galleries on the East Side galleries on the wall. Some fantastic artwork there, by the way.
Yeah.
Really recommended. But what we also did was we did this museum called the Topography of Terror, and it basically charts. It charts the history of Berlin, but obviously it focuses on
The rise,
and it focuses on how actually initially the Nazi Party, despite the growing popularity they had in the country, hadn't really penetrated Berlin. It was almost like a London, England thing. It was kind of like, you know, they were like, you lot can piss off. We've got our own thing going on. But it was the use of, it was the way they ramped it up, and it was the way it was scary. It is scary stuff, but really, really good to learn.
It must be difficult seeing that and then knowing what's going on at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially as it involves people of the same faith that were victims previously.
Mm. But yeah, so Berlin was good. We did that in Berlin, and then we moved on we got the train to Hamburg. What I did learn, by the way, German efficiency, biggest myth on the planet.
Really?
Absolute joke. Our train was cancelled.
I thought it was the Swiss that run like clockwork.
Oh, yeah, they do, but there's this myth of German efficiency, isn't there?
Yeah.
But our train was cancelled. We had to like sit in a cab. Ow, by the way, no, I'm going to pull this gripe in case I was listening. Do not commit a crime with Alex. He will throw you under the bus in a fucking heartbeat.
Why,
that boy is
fair jump. Or
that
something?
boy is not comfortable breaking rules. No, we didn't even fair jump. This is just, like, we literally just, when we went to the info centre, we were like, can we just confirm that our train is like fucking cancelled? And he was like, yeah, train's cancelled. He said, you can get on this one. And it was the slower one, and it left later. It was like, balls am I waiting another hour to get on an even slower train. I was like, fuck that, I'm just going to jump on the next quick one. It was fine anyway. But the guy came along checking the tickets, and he asked Ash. So we're stood up in these compartments. So me and Ash are one side, Al's the other side, between, you know, like the inner bit between carriages.
Yeah.
And he comes up and he asks for Ash's ticket. And Al comes marching from down there, and he goes, I know we're not meant to be on this bro, sorry, what? And he was like, oh, but our train's cancelled. And the guy, thankfully, was just like, he's like, he says, I'm going to stop you there. He's like, I'll see the ticket.
Yeah.
Like, I'll make my own mind up. Basically, he was like, shut the fuck up
and
let me do my job.
Well, the thing is, he'll probably know the previous train was cancelled. We're going to get people from
and
the
that's exactly
train.
it. He was like, yeah, it's fine. He was like, you are allowed to be on here because your train was cancelled.
And it was a fast train as well, wasn't it?
But he wasn't even asking Al for Al's ticket.
No, but Al decided to get involved. It's a very Al
He does
thing
not
to
like
do.
breaking rules, to be fair to that boy.
Really?
Like, I remember when we were coming back from a Palace game once, and he was shattered, and we'd booked the cheaper tickets. We booked on the slower train.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, let's just jump on a quick train, man. Like, fucking balls waiting for the long train. And he was like, no, our tickets say. I was like, mate. I was like, look. I said, if someone comes up and complains, we just go, oh, we didn't know. Even though actually it does say quite clearly on the thing that runs across the top on the train platform, on the board, it does actually say quite clearly, if your ticket says this, you are not allowed on this train. But I was like, no, fuck it, we'll just get on, we'll claim it. And I was like, ow.
And it's busy enough.
I was like, there's fucking hundreds of Palace fans travelling back to London.
I've been on those
No
trains.
one is coming back and checking it. Let's just get on it.
I've never seen a ticket checker.
Let's just get on it and get back to London. No one checked it, but he really was resistant to that.
Yeah.
He's not a fan of breaking rules. Do you know what I have
to say to Alex? I feel like that's the most apt use of...
But he's not comfortable breaking rules, that man.
No.
Me? I wouldn't sound like a massive rule breaker, but
no,
I have established...
You do. One of the most awkward moments you've ever enforced upon me and another person. And I will never forget it to the day I die. It was so humiliating.
Well, you might get dementia or something.
And we went to see Django Unchained in the cinema. I remember
Was that what it was?
Django Unchained.
I don't remember the film.
And it was fucking packed in the cinema. It wasn't when we first went in. And me and Ash, whenever we went to the cinema, and we used to go all the time, was we would get if anyone's been in a View cinema, at the time, they had standard seats and then the VIP seats.
Yep.
They're all VIP seats now. But back then, you only got to sit in the VIP seats if you paid the extra for them. And it wasn't much. It was like £3 or £4 at most. And Jake immediately was like, bollocks money to that. I'm not paying that. And then me and Ash are like, oh, all right, whatever, fine. We'll sit in the normal seats. And so we buy our tickets. And then you decide as we walk in, well, let's go sit in the VIP seats. And I'm like, mate, look, it's getting busy. There's no way we're getting away with that.
You're painting such a reputation for me. Following what I've just said about Al.
Yeah.
And this. It paints such a fucking picture of me.
You do not give a shit.
That I'm this absolute rule breaker, that I'm this rebel.
You are. You've fallen
I have
asleep at
that
the wheel
side
before.
of, I have that side
But
of me.
so we sit down to watch Django Unchained. The film has fucking started at this
Yeah,
point.
so who the fuck's coming in late? Fuck them.
It's not on them, it's on
No,
you.
no, fuck them for turning up late.
We'd have been turfed out of the seats regardless if they'd have turned up on time or late.
Yeah, if they just turned
And then
up.
we ended up sitting down the fucking front of the cinema. The bloke had to come over and ask us if they were our seats. And we had to be like, oh no, sorry, we made a mistake. And then do this walk of shame to the front of the cinema where the only seats were.
I don't regret it.
I fucking do. I think afterwards, me and Ash were like, Jake can't come to the cinema anymore.
Look, you've had a great story
Or
out
he's
of
got
it.
to sit on his own.
You've had a great story out of it.
So yeah, you don't like following rules.
I really don't. Okay,
No.
I know how
You're
this sounds.
very much a Tory in that regard.
I know how this sounds.
I want the rules to be there, but they just don't apply to
They
me.
absolutely don't apply to me.
Yeah, and you've literally, I mean, in previous episodes, you said you only follow the rules you fancy, basically.
I am well. I was just thinking that when we were talking just now, I am well aware that I have said on this pod that I pretty much pick and choose the ones I follow,
Yeah,
and I do.
yeah.
Absolutely no regrets. No regrets.
Have you got anything you... I love that.
It's good. Isn't it?
Lovely little reference. Have you got anything for
Yes.
me, bro, other than your devastating gonorrhea?
I've got a story. I think it's a good news story.
Okay.
Are you aware of Rosemary Hayne in Ohio? No, not by name. You're probably not. You might not have even seen this story.
No.
So she's a 39-year-old woman who was convicted this week after throwing a bowl at Chipotle employee. You can't go wrong with Chipotle. That's only a reference from me and Ash. Appreciated. But basically, she was given 180 days jail sentence, 90 days suspended, but she was offered to drop it to 60 if she did community service in a fast food restaurant.
Right.
I think, as someone who's worked in like retail, I think that's good.
No, it's a good idea.
Fuck these people, make them work there and see what it's like when people treat you like shit.
Yeah. It's my biggest bugbear working in service is the way people talk to you sometimes and the lack of, like, they don't see you as a person. They just see a uniform.
But it's like, if I wasn't here,
yeah,
you wouldn't have any of this.
no. And like I've actually said to someone before, and it was a woman, and it was an older woman, but she spoke to me so rudely. And I remember saying to her, if I wasn't wearing this uniform, you would not be speaking to me that way. And she was like, what on earth are you doing? I was like, if this was outside this store and I was not wearing this shirt, you would not speak to me that way, because of, you just wouldn't. You would not talk to a man twice your size that way.
Unless you had a complex.
And she just didn't. And I was like, so please don't talk to me like it now.
No, they do. Some of them get so...
Does my head in. Some people are like really cool and they get it.
It's also the little stuff, like I always remember that time
But no,
when...
I think as a punishment, that's a good idea. Make them do
I quite like that. I wanted,
in a McDonald's or something.
Given that we, the areas we've both worked in or do work in, I actually wanted to bring it up. I thought it was a good.
No, I'm well on board with that.
Yeah,
and make them have all the shitty jobs.
Yeah,
as
and
well.
it's like when people. I mean, like I said, I remember when someone went to put a shirt back when I was in the clothes shop, and they went to put a shirt back, and the person was like, "I don't do that. It's their job." I'm like, my job is several jobs. Like,
if people had any idea how much time gets spent on putting shit back, that they just decide to. The amount of waste as well, like stuff that goes off, because like I find shit like today just randomly on like a random non-chilled shelf. I think it might have been in like the crisp section, 12 stacks of profiteroles, and I feed them and they're fucking warm. And you're like,
please, bro, please, let's have a moment of silence, please.
Are you okay?
Think of what they could have done.
Are you okay?
Think of what they could have been.
Oh, no.
The life they could have had. I'll be okay. Just
needed the moment. Do you want me to get the cat so you can stroke it?
Life could have been so much more. What a waste.
Do you want to stroke
my
waste?
Are we doing a rippers for Shane McGowan, by the way? Or no?
Oh, absolutely we can. Yeah. I would say it's arguably my favourite Christmas song. And actually the first person who ever introduced me to it, or like reintroduced me, I hadn't heard it in years, was our mutual friend Dan. I remember one Christmas he was listening to it on Xbox Live and I was like, fuck, that's really good. And then,
yeah.
So no, absolutely. Shane McGowan, who hates the Tories.
That's the thing. He told Lawrence Fox to fuck off. I'm well happy with it.
What a legend. Just on that alone, he deserves a Rippers.
Agreed.
But he was definitely a sword crosser in my mind.
Yep.
And he'll be sorely missed.
And, do it.
No, please.
Oh, I was going to say there's another Rippers I think we should possibly be doing.
We're doing a double Rips.
Benjamin Zephaniah.
Okay, I wasn't that aware of him, but I've seen all the adoration being sent his way.
Yeah.
So he was a legit guy. I'm happy to add him
Really,
to the Rippers.
really eloquent, really smart.
And what did you say his name was again?
Benjamin Zephaniah.
Very nice.
And he,
like it.
you know,
Zephaniah.
there's a beautiful clip of him on the Big
Zephaniah.
Nasty show, which has been going around. That,
Okay.
if you haven't seen it, you probably will. Where he's talking about when he turned down, I think it was an OBE he turned down.
Yes, I did see that clip today. And when he was like,
he puts it across eloquently.
Empire and
You know,
all of that.
it's about 30 seconds. He gets his point across really well.
Yeah. Nice one. Right, so yeah.
Double rippers.
Double rippers for two legends.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Says a lot about us that we went for ripping the profiteroles before two genuine legends.
I'm not going to lie, emotionally, I have more of a connection to the profiteroles.
I can completely understand that, yeah. It was like once, my sister won't be happy that I've told this story on the pod. She'll probably find it funny, but fuck it. She was once leaving here.
She can dig you out when she's on, that's fine.
She reversed into a lamppost. And when she opened, and this was the bit that broke her heart, wasn't that she'd hit the lamppost. She opened up the boot to check it was okay and it hadn't got damaged. And a full 12-pack of Krispy Kremes fell out onto the floor.
Now that I can appreciate.
And I think I'm pretty sure I saw that happen. Honestly,
I get that.
Moment.
I get that.
Yeah.
I can't laugh at that. That's cruel.
No,
that's just heartbreaking.
She finds the funny side in it now. But yeah, it's been a hard day for you, hasn't it?
It's a lot of food that's gone. That, you know, I can't. It's tough for me to process. It's going to take me a while.
You're like Joey. I watched an episode recently of Friends where he's on the boat with Rachel.
Oh,
and she's been giving him shit the whole episode.
And he turns out to be his dad.
Yeah, and then he gives her a sandwich and she's dropping all the meat and he's like, don't waste it. Like, oh my God, I'm my dad.
It is,
it
is
like that.
But it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Is your dad upset about food waste?
He does this really, he used to do this really annoying thing where if there was something in the fridge.
Yeah.
And he thought it was going off.
He'd just chuck it.
No, he would eat it. Like, and he wouldn't, it would take 10 seconds, especially now that we've got like phones and WhatsApp and we have had for the last like 10 years or so.
Yeah.
10 seconds to throw a text around and go, does anyone want this? Because do you know what would really piss me off?
Yeah.
Is if I thought, I'm going to have that for dinner. Now, fair enough, I accept that that's on me for not making it clear, but I think I'm going to have that for dinner. And then you come out and he's had it. Yeah. And I'm a little bit annoyed.
And
but
then
I'm
you don't know what to do.
No, I'm a little bit, you know, you're like, oh, I actually really have my heart set on that.
Yeah,
but you kind of go, do you know what? I didn't put my name in it. What really is the nail in the coffin is when he then turns around and go, oh, I didn't even want it. And you're like, you're making it worse.
It's a slap in the face.
It's a slap in the face.
He's already backhanded you by eating your food, but you can take it. It was an accident. He swung. It was,
I can honestly say.
But then he just followed back in.
It used to piss me off so much. Like, if it happened now, I think it still would.
Yeah. No,
I've got to throw it out
I think that's legit, though. It'd be like if you had housemates and that sort of shit.
No, if someone did that to me now, I'd still be annoyed.
It's like, I don't know anyone, and I see a lot of videos of it, of people who put, like, empty boxes back in a cupboard, or... I've never known anyone who does that.
Me
Why
neither.
would you do that? So, yeah, it's proper shitbag behaviour, so I'm calling your dad out.
Do it. It was horrendous. I used to wind
Papa
me
Jake.
up. You got much?
I've got a little... I was listening... do you know what? It's a Council of Bros moment, I would say.
Let's do it.
It's just a little quick one. Let me just find it's on the soundboard. I'll just ease it off.
Yeah,
so
fade it out and we can
talking.
talk over it.
So a guy wrote in, Dear Crossing Swords. He's a barber.
No, I meant to send that to you, not Crossing Swords.
You're not a barber.
No, I'm not.
You know, you just cut pubic hair.
It's a free service.
This is very odd.
It's a free service.
Yeah, before you sleep,
Please.
I need to tidy this up.
Darling, let me get me scissors.
Yeah.
All right.
You go, Louis Spence, darling.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah. I thought that was quite a good impression.
Oh, not bad. That was pretty good.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, so this barber's written into us, right? And his issue is one of his clients is gay. And that's not the issue that the client's gay.
I was going to say, I hope not.
But in their most recent session, when he's cutting his hair, the client says to the barber that when he cuts his hair, he gives him a bit of a chub. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
he gets him aroused. And he said in the moment, it wasn't a thing. He just sort of laughed it off and continued cutting his hair. And it's only since it's made him feel a little bit uncomfortable and he doesn't know quite how to handle it. So he's written to us to ask what to do. Is he just being over the top and overly sensitive?
No, I don't think so. I think personally I'd just carry on anyway. But it's not the end of the world to bring it up, is it? And just say, look.
But it made
next time you just say, look, I love the fact that we've got a relationship where you think you can make those comments, but just for future reference, please don't. Please keep them to yourself.
Because I had the question in my head when I read the message of like, if that was a male client saying that to a female hairdresser, that wouldn't be okay. So why is it okay?
No, it's definitely crossed the boundary.
Is there the same level of implied threat in two men in that situation as there is? It's not quite the same, but is there an implied threat?
No, I don't think there is the same implied threat. But I do think it's definitely crossed the... Like I said, from what I'm...
definitely over
obviously,
the line.
we're not getting the full context, but I think it sounds like someone who's just thought that they had a good enough relationship to say
just
something.
Just a little sidebar, and it's to do with barbers, because I'm interested to see if you have this experience. I'm wondering if it's just because I'm a broad
Have you recently
man.
had a haircut, by the way?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you. And like I've realised every time I have my hair cut, and I don't know whether it's just because I'm a broad guy, but I end up with like bulge on my arm multiple times throughout a haircut.
A bulge?
Like the guy's crotch who's cutting my hair.
Oh, I see. No, I don't have that.
I have it end up pressing against me.
I kind of tuck myself into the chair a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have that luxury.
No.
I'm taking up the chair.
I kind of hands in pockets and I'm like this.
Hairdressers have to put me down on the lowest settings so they can do my hair.
Oh, so you're at crotch height.
And I have actually had a barber ask me to slouch down as well. But my current one, he's quite a tall guy, so he doesn't. And
what's he rocking?
What's he rocking? What in terms of
the bulge?
I just
you know what we're talking about. The bulge.
To be honest,
come on, you've if it's there, you know.
No, honestly,
no, come on.
No,
is it bigger than a 3-wood?
I would have thought so. But no, like it's an awkward thing of like and I've had it for a long time, and I forget it until I'm in the moment, and then I'm like, there's a knob on my arm right now, or like a pair of testicles. Do you know what I mean? Or
what would you
shoulder,
prefer, knob or testicles?
Testicles, definitely.
Less intimate somehow.
Yeah,
my mind went to the same place.
They're less invasive.
They are less invasive. They're less penetrative.
100%.
You know,
unless you're Jake.
Unless you're Jake. Oh, right. Some women like it, some women don't.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I just wondered whether you had that experience.
No. So you're in a better position to answer this. What was your advice to our bro B?
I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because
you missed a real opportunity there, by the way.
Did I?
Yeah. Say it's hard.
Yeah, I'm not as good on the cuff, off the cuff as you are.
No, I think you are. I think you just had so much sexual trauma on the mind.
What, from my own experiences?
From your own experiences.
Yeah, but the thing is, look, that's not a sexual thing. What happens? He's not doing that.
Well, does he rub?
No.
Does he like motion?
In truth, it's more sometimes when they're like doing the top of my head, they might need to lean against me slightly so that they can. Do you know what I mean? I guess you don't, because
I don't.
Another tall man might understand my pain. I'd be interested to see what Ash or Alex has to say.
Can I just say, by the way,
matter.
I've literally just noticed the Father Christmas there. That's
it's been there for every podcast we've done in the last.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has. If you
has it?
Yeah. Because I went to Lapland.
Yeah, I remember. You haven't talked about Lapland. You haven't talked about your trip.
No, it just hasn't come up. But we can absolutely talk about it now. If you look in the little bag.
I don't think
there's a little Lapland
after what
bag.
we're talking about.
Yeah, just have a little look in the bag. Anal beads, by the way.
Oh my God, is that real?
Is what real?
I just wanted to do it. Oh, you got 5?
They're called jingles.
5 jingles, yeah, I bet.
There's a currency in Lapland, and this is a Lapland. It's in Ascot, where the Royal Ascot is done.
Famously with their own currency.
But yeah, and like, so that 5 jingles is £5.
That's not worth £5. Is that actually worth £5? Are you saying I'm holding
£10 in jingles?
6, 7. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 jingles is £10.
It feels weighty.
Yeah, always does.
Feels wrong.
And this Santa.
Let me return his sack.
look at his price
I
tag.
hope I can say that I've handled
I
his
think
sack.
you'll be horrified. It says it on the under the barcode.
Are you kidding?
I'm not.
Did you pay that?
I did.
Are you kidding?
No.
That is an insane amount of jingles.
For a teddy bear of Santa Claus. But he does look good though.
I'd want actual Santa.
I met actual Santa.
Yeah, did you pay that many jingles?
I paid more than that to meet Santa.
Fuck me. How many jingles did you pay to
Well,
meet
you have
Santa?
to pay entrance fee, the ticket to go to that place.
This is basically sounding like...
And-
Can I just say this is sounding suspiciously like a club that I go to that's also called Lapland, where you have to pay an entrance fee and then you have to pay another fee to
get
meet
a sack.
anyone. Yeah.
But no, to be honest with you, it is really nice, and if you've got kids, it's great. You can't go unless you have a child with you as well.
You've just ruined what
So
I was about
like
to ask.
you and Ash and Alex could not go to that plan.
I think I could get away with a child.
No, it's proper children. You just behave like one.
It's very true.
You're too hairy to be a child now.
Well, like
Your 5 o'clock shadow would give you away.
damn it, yeah.
You'd have to shave when you arrived there.
Bit of concealer.
Yeah. That won't look odd.
Yeah, I tell you what's not going to pass me as a child: standing in a car park with a razor.
But depending on when you go, like we went in November, so it was a little bit cheaper. I say a little bit. It's between £80 to £100 a person.
What's the conversion rate on that to jingles?
Well, no, it's 80 to 100 jingles.
Whoa! Now I understand
One
it.
jingle is £1.
Now I understand it. When you said pounds, I wasn't sure how much we were talking here.
But you pay in pounds to go there, and then you can pay to get. And like one of the things they do, because they do it really well, the way they build it up for the kids. Like you'll send them information before you go there. You can pre-buy jingles so that when you book in, the kid will get a little bag like that with the jingles that you've paid for, and then they can go pay for the things they want. And anything that you pay for in Lapland, you can pay for with your magic card, as they call it, or jingles.
Now, I've got to ask, given
Please.
what we were just talking about, was Santa rocking a bulge?
I didn't see his bulge.
It didn't.
I
Like
went
when
nowhere
you
near his lap.
never lent on you,
No.
never rested
He
on
never
you.
left his seat. But it's really good because you send information about the kid beforehand so that when you go in to see Santa, he's got his big book with the kids' names in that's got an iPad inside of it that he reads out. Like, so he'll be like, so Jeremy, you're into Pokemon. Who's your favourite Pokemon? And he would like ask, related questions to the kid.
In my head, it's
but
just
we've
become
got
like
a lovely
some...
photo on the fireplace that you can see afterwards of all of us
Oh.
with Santa having a photo.
That's there's something in my head that's just become... He's just become like bad Santa. So he's like, so Jeremy, you're into like, the Pokemons or whatever, What's your favourite Digimon? Pokemon? Yeah, whatever. What's your favourite?
No,
Come on, kid.
No, this was a legit Santa. This wasn't
Photo with you guys. Fag out the mouth.
Yeah, he's smoking.
Yeah,
with us.
go on, kids.
No, this was no like shopping centre Santa. This was
That
was
many
the
jingles, I'd fucking
Santa.
hope not.
This was the Santa, and like, look, to be honest with you, like, you can go ice skating while you're there. That it's so well done, and they build it all from scratch, build it all up. There's shows. You get to meet Mrs. Claus. You get to meet Conker the Elf.
Oh, hello. Little
She was
Santa for the kids,
one thing I
Mrs.
would
Claus for
say
the adults.
Is the most disappointing part was Mrs. Claus. She was the least believable actor in the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, no, speaking of acting, I appreciate that a lot of the people think that I'm probably an excellent actor. And they weren't sure whether I was playing a bit then. I'm genuinely horrified at the amount of jingles that has cost you, that little thing. Like, genuinely mortified.
That's why I told you.
I am, yeah, no. There's no acting there.
No, that was
That's
genuine horror.
That is legit.
Yeah,
That's a lot of jingles.
that is a lot of
for
jingles.
that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it's once in a
People
lifetime.
in the comments,
Can
write
guess.
what you think. How many jingles I paid for that Santa?
I think even I'd get it wrong if I was guessing.
Yeah,
But anyway, Lapland, good. It's a once in a lifetime. I get it.
yeah. My sister
get
goes every year with my nephew. With me and Leanne went with my nephew and my sister, and we had a really nice time. And it's all done really well. I think it would be a bit more magical at night, but I think it'd be even busier, and it's more expensive to go later in the day as well. But like celebrities go there,
do
like
that
the Brunies went there last year with their kids, and you can pay like 400 quid more to get a VIP access where you don't have to queue for anything and all that sort of jazz. And then you can get a husky, and every year it's a different husky that pulls Santa's sleigh and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
They've all got different names, and you can get a dog bed for the husky and a collar and a coat and different clothes. But no, like the whole thing genuinely was really well done. The actors in it that you meet, because you get to interact with some of them, really good.
Mrs.
Like
Claus?
they're all, and like Mrs. Claus, no, she was good, but like compared to the others, she was.
You know
the
what I'm
least.
asking though?
No, I was hoping beforehand. I said to Leanne, like, you never
I
know.
hope she's a fitty.
Yeah, and she was a bit,
Did they
disappointed.
offer you big titties, or was it very
She
different
didn't.
to Poland?
She had reasonably
Did she?
big titties. I mean, like, they were all
A
right.
decent size.
Yeah, nothing to be sniffed at.
A handful.
Definitely a good BSH,
A good, whatever that is.
British standard handful.
A British standard handful, which is like 3 handfuls for me.
Yeah, like, how big's your hand?
I don't wanna
compared
do
mine? No, why not?
Because I might have very, very small hands.
That's all right. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
And yet I am shamed.
You shouldn't be.
And yet I am.
Oh, sad. I didn't want to make you sad. But going back to, I don't think we actually fully answered
Oh,
the Council of Bros.
What the barber and his...
Yeah. So what do we reckon we
Girlfriend.
should do?
It's up to him. If he's comfortable carry on and say nothing. But next time, if he says anything like that again, just stop him as
And
he's
say,
saying
like,
it, and just look. Like I said, say like, I appreciate that we've got a good relationship and stuff, but I
Yeah.
feel uncomfortable like that, man. Makes it hard for me
It
to
is
cut.
weird as well.
Makes it hard for me to cut your hair
Yeah.
with that kind of knowledge. So just
How
kind of
would you
keep it to
feel
yourself.
if just right now I was like, Jake, whenever we podcast, you give me a bit of a chub on?
I mean, I expect it. I don't.
It's implied.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't get for anything less than a half rise,
No.
even on a bad day.
We're like Blue. All rise.
That is a nice reference, my
Thank
man.
you. I was
That is
waiting
a
for you
nice
to-
reference. I didn't get it. I didn't pick up
No.
on it.
But no, I was quite pleased with that. I was like,
That's going to be in my head all night. Thanks for that.
all rise for the city streets,
Oh,
for the hip hop beats.
well, that's one love.
No,
Isn't
it's one love. What's all rise? Oh, it's the jury one, isn't
it?
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
one.
That you've overstepped the border. One for the money and a
Free
free
rise,
rise. It's
2
two for the lies that you did not all rise. I wanna tell it to your face.
I rest my case.
Copyright.
Yeah, that was more than 7 seconds.
Yeah, but worth it.
But we got the wrong song to start with.
Yeah, so maybe they'll let us off.
The blue aficionados are going to be that crossover, that Venn diagram of Crossing Swords fans and blue fans are going to be furious.
Look, there is nothing wrong with liking a bit of Blue.
I do like a bit. Oh, you mean the band?
Yeah, but one of my favourite songs from my childhood was the Blue song. I'm blue, daboo dee daboo die. Yeah,
Do you know they remixed that?
yeah,
It's
shit.
horrendous.
It's horrendous.
Why'd they do that? It's
No.
like when they redid the top loader thing. You need to do that.
What, Dancing in the
Yeah.
Moonlight?
You didn't need to do that.
Isn't that a remake anyway?
No, that's them, I think.
Is it them?
I'm pretty
'Cause I
sure.
think it's a
but
tune.
it might be. Actually, it might be a remake.
I'm
not gonna look it up, I don't care enough. Although they did play at the Tory Party conference, so they have gone down in my books.
Oh, that means Top Loader would have given them permission as well, isn't
No, top loader played.
it? No.
Yes, they've gone down in my book.
They danced in the Tory Moonlight.
They danced in the Tory Moonlight. And there's a lot of it 'cause there's power cuts.
What can we...
Because none of us can afford the fuel.
1 second. I've got the perfect soundbite.
That is a disgrace.
Agreed. I never thought I'd agree with Liz Truss, but here we
No,
are.
but here we are. That's the world we're living in. What you got for me, bro?
Well, do you know what? Do you want to play the Council of Bros again? Because
Absolutely.
I've got some Council of Bros.
Go on.
Actually, well, it's more Council of... This is female bros.
All bros are welcome.
No, this is quite a serious one.
There's nothing more
Dear
serious
Crossing
than
Swords.
the bro chant.
And this is, I said, this is from a female. A straight female. I'm 30
to
years
know.
old. And so is my new boyfriend. But should I tell him I'm a virgin? And if so, should I tell him before or after we sleep together?
That's an interesting predicament to be in. Very novel to be 30 and not receive the D, as it were. But she's
I
preparing.
mean, to be fair, I want to throw it out there. I'm 30 and I've not received the D.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, I
You've
have.
been on Stag Do's.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it happened. No, stag do's don't count.
No, but you still
Stag do's
receive
don't
the
come on.
D.
Stag do's don't
You
even.
still
You can't
receive the D.
count it as stag do. It
And
just
also,
happens.
you love Tenacious D, so I would say you've received the D
I see you're doing like figurative and metaphorical.
ways.
You'll do all senses.
in all Ds. Yeah, but no, she's
And you fucked me before the pub.
so you literally received the D. I wasn't ready for that. Neither were you. I think she should tell him. I think most decent men would want to know that because it does change how, as a man, you would approach that situation. I know it would for me at least. I'd want to make it more special, I guess, and like
You'd be a bit more considerate.
also be up to your A game, I guess. Do you know what I mean? Like this is what we play for, sort of thing.
I think it's a split, isn't it? It's on the one hand, your own sexual history and your own history and whatever is your story. It's yours to discuss.
Absolutely.
But in a good, healthy relationship, you do share things. You are
And
vulnerable
look,
together.
I think he'll be cool. I think he'll be into it. Do you know what I mean? I think, a 30-year-old virgin, there's no guilt there. Do you know what I mean?
That phrase you want to go with?
I said it.
Sticking with it.
And we're going to move on.
Okay.
But no, on a serious note.
It's part of having good open communication between
and like
partners.
for you should, like, the first time, from what I've heard from a lot of women, can be quite disappointing.
What was it the first time you took the D?
The first time I took the D. It was so long ago, and there's been so many dicks
Who can
since. I don't remember.
Who can remember?
It's just gaping. This has been such a weird pod.
It's gone off on so many tangents.
But no, yeah, talk to him about it because it'll make life easier and
And it will take the pressure off you, I think.
absolutely, yeah. Because like she'll be building it up, I imagine, in her own head. It's a big moment.
100%. I find it's the biggest thing with people who haven't lost their virginity. Once they get past about 17, 18, I think up to then it's kind of, there's the normal pressures. But once you get to kind of like 19,
I think
20...
I was 19.
Well, I think once you get to like, in my experience with people, once they get to like 19, 20, and you're at that point, you're kind of an adult virgin.
Yeah.
When you're like 17, 18, you're still you might not see yourself as a kid, but you're a
I would
kid.
have said I was still a teenage virgin.
Oh, no, you're still a teenager. But once you reach that point where you're an adult virgin,
It becomes...
then you start building it up. I think they really start building it up and the pressure for it to be this thing.
Because it is... Well, I remember at a young age...
And then you get scared of it, and then they're
before-
like putting it off because they don't. And sometimes
Yeah.
you just need to rip that Band-Aid off and do it if you want to do
absolutely.
it. But
Yeah.
only if you're comfortable. It is.
Yeah, if this is someone you feel safe with,
Yeah.
comfortable with, and you're ready to lose your virginity to, then I
But
would...
it's really tough because I think it does build up once you're an
No,
adult
absolutely.
virgin.
Yeah. It must be difficult as well. But we were such players, it was never a problem for us. Fist bump that bad boy.
Bro.
But yeah, all right, we're moving on. Do you want something light-hearted or a bit more serious?
Let's do light-hearted. Let's go. Let's end on a light.
Padme was a paedophile.
Padme?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Anakin was like 10. She groomed the shit out of him.
Less than 10, bro. He was like 7.
She groomed the shit out of him.
Abso-fucking-lutely. I know she was probably like, 18 at the time?
Yeah.
But that's fucking bad, man.
Unless she was 8.
It's not
bad.
Yeah. No, I reckon sub 16, it's a grey area. Yeah? Like up to 16, like 15 and under, you could sort of let it go a little bit. But no, man, she was almost a fully grown woman and she was eyeing up.
She was on the throne.
Do you know what I mean?
She was old enough to be...
Yeah, she was a fucking royal, bro.
She was old enough to be a royal... do you know what? That's why it happened. That's why it happened.
It's an abuse
They
of
like
power.
them young in the royals.
Shit. Portman, though.
Yeah, she could have been on our throne.
Although if I was 8 years old, Natalie Portman wanted me.
You wouldn't know what to do with it. You wouldn't know what to do with it now.
You're absolutely right. It's not the point.
If Natalie Portman came in offering her, as grateful as you'd be so overwhelmed
I'd
and
be like,
terrified.
sorry,
You'd be
Natalie,
like,
I can't do
look,
it.
this is going to
What?
be...
Don't you act Billy Big Bollocks like if she walked in,
same
dressed
boat,
like
same
Princess
boat,
Leia and
same
was like,
boat.
Jake, mount me.
No, do you know what? I'd be really annoyed if she came in just like Leia, though.
Would you? You'd want to dress as Padme?
Yeah.
What? Or Queen
I'm like, you're Padme.
Or do you want Queen Amidala?
Either, but as far as I'm concerned, you actually exist in the Star Wars universe and you should be your character. Don't be coming in role-playing as someone else. I can do it because I'm not
would
in Star
find
Wars.
that quite almost meta. I think
You
I
can
would
do it because
appreciate
you're not in Star Wars, but she's in Star Wars.
Mate, you
She
wait
should
for
play
the
her
next
character.
pod.
I would love it.
if I came in dressed as Princess Leia in the slave outfit.
You never would, but I would absolutely.
I'd love the body confidence to feel like I could do
in
that.
all honesty, I would. We should do a fancy dress episode,
What, just randomly just show up dressed as...
or just just give each other.
You've got to dress as this.
You've got to dress as Princess Leia.
Knowing how bad
But
we
you can
are
go-
at organisation,
go-
though.
You can go Leia in the white dress, the long.
Yeah, just wear a bed sheet
Yeah,
with a belt.
yeah, and the hair.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd have to get a
That's
wig.
important
Or
for Leia.
do what I've seen it in other stuff, like a couple of cinnamon buns.
Yes.
Or like iced buns, just strap them to
Did you
my
worry
head.
about I might climb across the table?
You'll just be too
Just
aroused.
devour you.
Yeah, I'll have my
So
pistol.
You've got to be very. I've heard
Nah, it's more of a shotgun.
12 gauge,
Yeah.
double barrel.
Always double-barreled. I come strapped.
But I think you should come. I think you should definitely do an episode. No, or do you know what? If we do a themed episode, we should
If
just
we
come.
ever do an episode on May the 4th or anything around that time, we'll have to dress up for
will,
Star Wars.
will you promise me here and now that you will come as?
What, Princess
Leia?
Leia? If I can get a sheet, yeah. I'll literally just do that. I'll wear a sheet with a
It's on the
belt.
pod. It's on the pod.
I'm coming dressed as Princess Leia. It'll be difficult to do the hair because we wear headphones, but we'll see what
Yeah,
we can do.
maybe you can incorporate that into.
Maybe.
Maybe they could be part of the bun. One on top, these on the side.
Maybe.
Well, you don't even need one on top. I'm thinking of Amidala. You just need. You just
Or I'll
need
just have a ponytail.
or a ponytail.
Yeah.
I think you'd look like quite sad with ponytail.
I look like I work in Games Workshop. wouldn't
Yeah,
I?
you would.
Or in sex.
I'm glad you said it.
Yeah. I look like the fat guy that works in the games shop. Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted, talking about
In the
adult
Warhammer
virgins.
shop,
No,
yeah.
no disrespect to those guys.
I'll have you know, I'm no virgin, sir. Just ask your mum.
But that's on the pod. Princess Leia, you promised it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm just gonna have to find an old white sheet my mum doesn't want to use again. Just cut
I'll
a head
get one.
hole in it.
I'll get one from the charity shop.
Oh, nice one. Make sure it's large though. I'm a wired girl.
Double,
I think,
queen, king. What we talking here?
well,
King.
I'm a
I know you, king.
no, but I'd be a
You
queen.
queen. You're a queen.
I'm a queen,
You're a queen.
and I'm not afraid to say it, bro. That's how comfortable.
I think you'd make a good drag queen.
I think I would as
I
well.
think you'd.
Mm.
I think as well.
I actually think I'd find that easier to do than something like dressing up as Bikini Princess Leia, because I wouldn't be me. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe we should do a drag episode.
I'm up for trying drag at some point. Yeah,
I think you should. I think you make a good drag queen.
yeah. You do it with me.
Oh, you mean the drag queen thing?
Yeah.
I
And
thought
then
you
we'll
meant.
have
I thought you meant
sex,
something
but
else. Yeah, as long as we can, both.
Yeah.
Right, we can do both.
Before, during, after.
I reckon I'd be the kind of queen that just comes and takes the piss out of everyone. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I think I'd be a flirty queen.
I would be throwing so much shade. You would. You'd sleep with someone.
I'd be performative.
You'd be provocative.
I'd want to
You'd-
do karaoke.
You'd
or
get the
something.
people going.
Yeah. I'd be doing hot stuff on the karaoke mic. Do you know what I mean?
I think if there was like a karaoke night,
Or I'm horny,
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 horny.
horny.
I would be the one taking the piss out of everyone as they come off stage.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to do that to me though. I'd have just smashed it.
Yeah, well, I couldn't take the piss out of
It's
you.
like once I remember I was really drunk and we were on a stag do. This doesn't involve
Sure.
gay sex. And
Cocks in
we
mouths.
ended up at a pub that was doing karaoke. And I think me and you did a duet of Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me.
Oh, I vaguely remember
And
it.
you were a bit drunk and you were sort of like
Not with it.
really,
I was
and
not with it.
proper fucking going for it. I was nailing it. And I walked off and one of our mates just went, "Big mate, you fucking smashed that." And I was like, "I know." Just kept walking.
But see, that right there, that's drag queen energy.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Of course
That's
I
like
fucking
proper.
smashed it.
Don't question me, bitch.
Do you know what I mean? I was like, "Fucking don't let the sun go
I know
down
I'm
on
good.
me." Because it reminded me of like we were at the pub, just me and you, and that was that guy.
Oh, that I
doing it.
remember. And he started high.
Yeah, and it was all rise.
And it was like, where are you going with this?
Yeah, it starts soft and
And he just
then
dropped
by
in
the
there.
end. Yeah,
Disappointing.
But
It was.
I fucking smashed it.
You did smash it.
Yeah, I did. Right, we
Man,
can't-
you have made some promises. Oh, boy. Do you know what the listeners...
drag Leia. It's all
23.
happening.
has been such a good year, and the listeners are going to be so
24's
excited for
bigger and better.
2024.
Yeah,
I'm excited for 2024.
yeah. I've got you. I've got you going. I've got the people.
You've
going.
got the people. If I'm the people, you've got me going.
Yeah, and you are part of the people. And as you said at the start, it's all you care about is the people.
I care about the people. I think I
and
like
you want to give them what they
I
want.
like to give the people what they want, and they
Yeah.
definitely want what you've promised.
Yeah, me and Dragon,
But you've got to deliver.
Princess Leia.
You've got to deliver.
Yeah, you're doing it with me though. If I'm dressing up,
Oh
you're
yeah, but
dressing up.
you and I both know that I've got very little shame.
That's true.
It's no
I do.
problem for me. I've got no embarrassment.
I think I'll be fine as long as someone else is doing it. If I've just got to walk in here dressed in drag, I'd find that more difficult.
Oh yeah, well you'd want someone in here who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
We should do that. We should like
Look up
message someone who does that.
Oh, yeah, and have them on the pod.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then have a drag night with them.
yeah.
I'm down for that.
I would make one request if we're going to do like a whole drag night.
What's that?
Food. Will there be like a plethora of food on the table?
Don't know.
That's my request. That's my rider.
What's a plethora?
I don't know, but like at the very least, some like sausage rolls
Yeah.
and some party rings. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything but food.
Pie.
I don't know.
That's an interesting
When I think
choice.
of like,
As in like the actual biscuits.
yeah,
party
like when I
rings.
think of a buffet
Yeah,
in
yeah.
like plastic
Maybe
trays,
a pizza.
yeah, with like a plastic tablecloth. I think pie rings, the sausage rolls,
Scotch eggs.
yeah, the
cocktail
chicken nuggets.
Sausages. Yeah.
That's my request: is that we have some kind of spread.
If we're doing a drag night.
If we're doing a drag night, if we're doing a whole night, I want a spread.
Right, okay. I assumed we'd be going out, not that.
Okay. While we're getting ready,
Yeah.
I
There
want a
needs to be
spread.
food.
There needs to be some snackage.
No, but you'll get too distracted by the food.
I'll get to.
You're
listen,
distracted by the food now. And it's not even there.
If there's food here, I'm going to get distracted by the food. I'll go with you on that.
Yeah.
But if there's not food here, I'm just going to be distracted by the fact there's not food.
So
It's a
either way,
lose-lose.
you're
It's a
distracted.
lose-lose. But would you rather have me hungry and hangry?
That's a very fair point. I've seen you when you're hungry. You're no good to anyone.
And there you go. That's my condition.
Yeah.
Can we have some snacks?
You're like a gremlin in that sense. Don't feed or do feed a gremlin after midnight in your case.
No, you always feed me.
Yeah.
Always. Regardless of the
doubt.
hour.
If you're ever out and about with Jake, just have like a Snickers on you just in
And
case.
little biscuits in the pocket.
Just in case. Like for when you start getting grumpy, just hand him a Mars bar and you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah.
And it works quite well. I'm quite
Yeah.
well trained. I will sit and receive the biscuit. You know, I'll put a paw up.
Bro, do you want a digestive? Fucking right, I do.
The answer is always yes.
I'll keep that in mind.
But that's my condition.
What
We
I'll
do it
do for when you next come out or when you're here, I might have an emergency packet of
just in
biscuits
case I get.
in the vicinity,
Ranty.
just in case you come in when you're in a bad. You might be in a bad mood. It's been a stressful day. Just subtly put the biscuits on the table,
And I will eat. If you
and that's not a euphemism.
take it full circle.
I'll
going
subtly
back to
put
the
the biscuits on the table.
Going back to the start of the pod, if you put food in front of me,
You'll love it.
I'll eat it.
Yeah.
But yeah, drag night, I want some snackage, and then I'm in.
Okay.
We'll do it.
That's your only barrier. I think we can manage that.
Done. 2024 is going to be big.
We
That's
need-
going to take some coordination, though.
What, the drag night?
That's going to take
That's
some
going to take some
coordination.
actual organisation.
And if we do a taste thing, I'd like to do like an episode where we do taste test thing,
Okay.
trying different foods and stuff.
Okay, I'm up for that.
And that's going to take some coordination.
Yeah. But again, it's all doable. It's not
It's
difficult.
doable. It's doable.
We just have to put our mind to it. But guys, let us know whether you're up for us doing these things.
Where can they let us know?
Oh,
Ah,
damn it.
beat you to it, you son of a bitch. It's all about the timing.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
It's all about the timing.
First the start of the episode and now this. That was so long ago, it feels like now. When you
I don't even remember it.
You tricked me and said I wasn't in shot. And then,
Oh, yeah.
it was the whole
Yeah, that-
fucking Cliff Richard thing where I was on Cliff Richard's side. I think I just did that
That was
because
good.
you
I was, quite
upset me.
happy. I was quite happy with that. I'm not going to
Yeah,
lie.
no, it was good. But guys, you can do it. And it'll be on the screen here. Right here.
Right by this really
We-
expensive Santa.
It's not that expensive.
It's fucking, bro. It's fucking expensive.
You can contact us on Twitter at Swords Crossing. At Facebook, just Crossing Swords. We're on TikTok and Instagram at CrossingSwords_podcast. And you can email us at CrossingSwords19@gmail.com.
Yep. Add all the O's.
Yeah.
All the .com.
See if
All
that
the
works.
O's. Someone's getting the...
Maybe that's where people have been going
Someone's
wrong.
getting the message.
Maybe that's why we've not been getting many emails recently. It's all the O's.
Yeah, the emails are kind of dived off a little bit,
Yeah.
so please do keep them coming.
Yeah.
We're more than happy
Just
to receive them.
contact us. But
If you've got some questions for the Council of Bros,
yeah,
tell us.
the bros will assemble.
You email us and it will be anonymous.
Yeah.
We won't. Honestly, when Ash sent that... oh, no, shit. Because Ash did the barber thing. Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Which one is it?
He's the barber. he's the one who gets a chub on.
Gets his gay
He
haircut.
gets his chub on.
I think I picked the story
Do
up.
you know what though? There's certain parts of a haircut that are quite sensual. Like I don't mean sensual, but there's like the buzzing and there's certain touching.
I guess.
Do you know what? I'm not coming off well in this.
No. I mean, and I'm the one who has balls dangled on him.
Balls
while
on
he's
your
having his
arm.
haircut. Love you guys.
Bye.